Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at transports in the new edition. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Transports are the fast and flexible way to travel the new edition in style. Now that you know how much tougher our vehicles will be in the new edition of Warhammer 40,000, you can start planning which units you're going to stuff into them. In the past, only certain units were allowed to bundle out of a transport on the same turn it had moved, presumably due to the strict health and safety regulations at this point in history. But with the galaxy tumbling into turmoil, these concerns have fallen by the wayside. Now, any embarked unit is free to hop out once a transport has moved, provided the vehicle didn't advance or fall back. They can also shoot but can't make a charge, unless they disembark before the vehicle moves. This is a major improvement for mechanized armies that love to leap from their vehicles and blaze away at close range, like Tau, Astra Militarum, Eldari, and power armor-clad warriors of all varieties. You still can't embark and disembark on the same turn, but you don't need to keep your engine running for a turn before the doors open, which coupled with the newfound durability makes fielding transports more appealing than ever. Alright, so a couple important notes from that. It sounds like they're removing some of the restrictions as to who can ride in what vehicles. And I do like that they kept the restriction. You can only enter or exit a transport once on a turn. You can't get in and then get out. But I do think it makes sense that you should be able to jump out after the transport has moved. I think it adds a lot more dynamic variety to the game. In the past, certain open-top vehicles allowed troops inside to fire out, and this has now been consolidated into a universal firing deck X rule. Just choose one weapon each from a given number of embarked models, such as a plasma gun and a melta-gun from some Cadian shock troops riding in a Chimera with firing deck 2, and the transport will count as if it's equipped with them for their own shooting attacks. Firing deck. Some transport models have firing deck X listed in their abilities. Each time such a model is selected to shoot in the shooting phase, you can select up to X models embarked within it. Then for each of these embarked models, you can select one ranged weapon the embarked model is equipped with. Until the transport model has resolved all of its attacks, it counts as being equipped with all of the weapons you selected in this way, in addition to its other weapons. So I really like that. I think that's great. I'm glad that they are bringing back essentially the firing deck rules in their new iteration. I also really like the way that they have simplified it. So now you basically pick X models. Those models' weapons are considered to be on the vehicle. So now if you have buffs on that vehicle, when it shoots, it's going to be able to use those. So that is really cool. Previously embarked troops couldn't benefit from buffs, but now because the transport itself is making the attack, their weapons gain any boost the vehicle does. For instance, an orc mech can use his mechanic ability to act as a powerful force multiplier for the battle wagon's monsters firing deck 22. That is insane. Firing deck 22 on the battle wagon? That's crazy. Alright, so the Mech Mechanic. At the end of your movement phase, you can select one friendly orcs vehicle model within 3 inches of this model. That vehicle model regains up to a D3 lost wounds, and until the start of your next movement phase, each time that vehicle makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll. Each model can only be selected for this ability once per turn. I mean, that's absolutely stellar. So a Mech Mechanic is going to be an auto-include for orcs, because not only are you giving +1 to hit to the battle wagon, but you're also giving +1 to hit to all those 22 models. And because of the way it is worded, you select one friendly orc vehicle, that vehicle model regains up to a D3 lost wounds. So it could be in perfect health, it regains 0, which is up to a D3, and then it still has that +1 to hit ability. So very, very cool. Definitely going to be some crazy combos coming out of some of this stuff. Some vehicles, however, circumvent the rules entirely with special abilities, such as fast movers like the Impulsor and the Astra Militarum Taurox, who can disembark troops even after advancing. So that is interesting. So the Taurox and also the Impulsor can now advance and then still disembark the troops. So everybody else will be able to move, but they'll be able to advance and still disembark. So Taurox rapid deployment, units can disembark from this transport after it has advanced. Units that do so count as having made a normal move that phase and cannot declare a charge in the same turn, but can otherwise act normally. So not only can they advance with the rapid deployment rule and then disembark, but they just count as moving normally, which means they'll be able to shoot rapid fire weapons, heavy weapons, etc. So very, very cool. The Land Raider reclaims its assault ramp, meaning passengers can declare a charge on the same turn they disembark. If this sounds like a return to the glory days of delivering Terminators hot and fresh into headlong assaults, you'll be right. but it's not the only Space Marine transport with newfound flexibility. Minus a couple of exceptions, Space Marine transports no longer care whether a Primaris unit is riding in the back or not. Okay, so there's a lot there. The old Land Raider rules assault ramp was awesome, so you could basically move your Land Raider forward and then your guys jump out within the 3-inch disembark and then they're still able to charge. So that rule is coming back, not just for Terminators, it sounds like for everybody. And then on top of that, they're saying Space Marine transports no longer care whether a Primaris unit is riding in the back or not, which further reinforces the theory that Games Workshop is completely removing Primaris and Firstborn, and now everybody is just a Space Marine, and then they're just going to have like various armors or whatever take up. Actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. So Repulsor Transport. This model has a transport capacity of 12 Adeptus Astartes infantry models. Each jump pack, Wolfen, Gravis, or Terminator model takes up the space of 2 models, and each Centurion model takes up the space of 3 models. So this is a repulsor, and now it's going to be able to carry all of those things. Wolfen obviously are not Primaris. Jump pack Marines, not only are they not Primaris, but also they have jump packs. Terminators, clearly not Primaris. Centurions. So this sounds freaking awesome. And then obviously Gravis models are Primaris, so there's still some kind of distinction between the armor, but not between who can carry them. So are we now going to be seeing Primaris units in Rhinos? Very possibly. Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products, including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now back to the video. Many other transports get a new lease on life with the characterful rules of their own. The Chimera is often used as a command post by Astar Militarum officers, so now they can bark orders from relative safety with the Mobile Command Vehicle rule. So Chimera Mobile Command Vehicle. In your command phase, one officer model embarked within this transport can issue orders even though it is not on the battlefield. When doing so, measure distances to and from this transport. So again, a very simplified version of what is essentially like a rule right now. So definitely liking that. The Falcon Grav Tank, meanwhile, lends support fire to its disembarked passengers by picking out priority targets with its own guns. The freshly deployed Eldari then get to reroll wounds against that same unit, giving the craft world a fast 1-2 punch of overwhelming firepower or lethal blade work. That really fits purpose as the premier Aspect Warrior delivery system. So Falcon Fire Support. In your shooting phase, after this model has shot, select one enemy unit hit by one or more of those attacks. Until the end of the turn, each time a friendly model that disembarked from this transport this turn makes an attack that targets that enemy unit, you can re-roll the wound roll. So basically you're going to move this thing, you disembark the troops inside, then you shoot at your targets. You can shoot at multiple targets, but one of them that gets hit, you select, and then all of the guys that jumped out now can re-roll the wound roll against that specific target. Re-rolling wounds is definitely a big deal. It's not like re-rolling ones to wound, it's re-rolling all wounds. So this could be very strong, especially with Eldar when they have like a lot of like explosive type stuff. You could potentially be re-rolling all your wounds fishing for something like 6s to trigger some special ability. So I have a feeling this is going to be very strong. Every transport now has its own place within its roster, be it as fire support, fast redeployment, or even a speedy getaway vehicle. These are only a small part of the enormous changes coming to the new edition of Warhammer 40,000. So very cool. Lots of awesome interactions with transports, and then obviously some cool ways that they buff and everything. Really like the idea of the firing deck and all of these different aspects. I think this is really going to give a lot more life to transports and like the dynamic abilities that you'll be able to use them for. Couple that with the extra durability of vehicles, and I think we're going to see a lot more of these bad boys in the game. So let me know what you think down below. Always like to hear your guys' feedback. So far, I really like the rules changes. Some of them seem like they're going to really simplify the game, but most of them seem like they're just going to make overall cooler, more fun, and more thematic interactions. Special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the video. As always, check out the link in the description to save 15%. And that's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and I think I'm going to be painting up some more transports. And I'm out of here.